What's going on? So today I'm going to be showing you how to create a successful traffic campaign, aka a profile visit campaign, and the whole idea here is to push traffic over to your page and convert those people into followers. And the reason this is so effective is because we're going to get granular in actually targeting our specific audience and the demographic that will ideally convert the most people into followers. So let's say you're a fitness person and you help 40-year-old women. We are going to be targeting just that, and you're going to get a lot more inflow of potential leads over to your page and also get to grow your account subsequently. So to start out, after you click the create button over here under the campaign folder, you want to click traffic and then go over and then click manual. I always recommend my clients to do manual over advantage or recommended settings just so we have a little bit more autonomy with the actual inputs and variables that will be going into this campaign. Alright, so now that we're in the actual campaign, I'm going to quickly go in and change the names of each level to give you an idea of how these categories are usually talked about from a media buyer standpoint. Alright, so as you can see at the top, in this entire encompassing folder, we have the campaign level, and everything will go within the campaign level, and it's basically an overarching section of this entire ad that we're running. And then right below that, we have ad set level. In a lot of campaigns, you can set up several different ad sets. So even if I go right here and I click duplicate, just as an example and show you guys. So as you can see now, I have two different ad sets. So what you can do is test different demographics or target audiences against each other, because there can be a little bit of a gray area if you're trying to put a ton of different audiences into one ad set. So if it does pop off, it does win, or even worst case, it does horrible, you don't really understand why or where these metrics were coming from unless you segment them out at first. So in an example where you're trying to target maybe two different demographics, it'd be recommended to set that up in different ad set segments. But for the sake of this video, we're just going to stick to one ad set, so I'll remove this for now. And right below ad set level, we have creative level, and this is where you'll actually upload your creative, and you can put the copy and the caption that'll go below it. So this is directly related to display. So for the sake of keeping this campaign pretty simple and straightforward for you guys, I don't recommend touching any of this because we really don't need to. We're able to set up campaign budget in the ad set level, and that's usually preferred, especially if you have several creatives within one ad set, so it spends a little more evenly. However, reason you would do this campaign budget up top, let's say you had a ton of creatives and you want Meta to decide based on the winner of their own metrics what in Meta eyes they see as the current winning ad creative. They'll dump money into that for you and not give as much ad spend attention to some of the ad creatives that Meta doesn't denote as winners. But again, for the sake of the fact that we have to test things, it's too early to go with campaign level off of a brand new profile visit. And again, this is on a fresh profile visit. When you get it a little more seasoned and you get great metrics, then you can get the freedom of playing around with campaign level or different metrics. All right, enough chit chat. Let's get into it. So within the ad set level, you're going to want to switch it to Instagram profile, because the whole point of this ad campaign, of course, is to push people over to your profile. If you don't already have it, then you're going to need to link your Instagram as well. And then in the budget section, on a profile visit, especially just starting out, because you don't want to waste a lot of money, because you still need to test to make sure that the actual creative itself is converting. So I recommend for anywhere from $10 to $30 a day, and this will guarantee you a slow, steady increase of followers day in and day out. And it's nice because you'll be able to see the metrics of everyone that came over to your profile. And I found, you just let $10 a day run on the background for a few months, and you'd be surprised the increase in followers it can really give you. So if you scroll down, now under Audience Controls and Audience Advantage Plus, it looks like we don't really have too much freedom to add our inputs, and the reason this is because Advantage Plus is basically allowing the algorithm to make the decisions for you based on your target audience already and who your followers are, who you typically already engage with, and they'll play around and run some experiments on which target audience they think will win for you. And after talking to a lot of other fellow media buyers, we've noticed that over time, Meta is slowly pushing users to do this Advantage Plus section instead of allowing us to do a lot more of the manual inputs that we used to have within the interface. So as you can see here, I'm going to want you guys to click this switch to original target audience, and you'll see it suddenly brings out significantly more possibilities for us to mess with. But even though it seems like we're on fully manual now, there's still a bit of hidden underlying like Advantage Plus that is going on, meaning the algorithm still will play around a little bit for you. And it's really interesting, because in the past few years it didn't used to be like this, but we have to play Meta's rules, and this is what they're giving to us, and so we're going to make the best of it. So what we're going to do is set up our target audience and demographics. Like I was saying earlier with that past example, let's say I'm a fitness coach and I'm targeting 40-year-old women looking to lose weight. So I'm going to build out a target audience here directly related to that. So adding location preferences is huge, and especially if you're offering a high ticket service or an expensive expensive service. You need to make sure that you're only targeting in countries that can actually afford to do so. So by adding your country preferences, over time it also does help the algorithm understand, okay, we need to keep pushing this guy's content out to the US and not over to the Middle East or just another random region. So let's go ahead and just throw in Canada as well for the sake of this video. And I want to note also, so especially when we get down to some of our target audiences, we're going to have to be paying to this audience definition pretty closely. And that's because we don't want too broad of an audience, but we also don't want it to be too specific. Too specific means anything under 1 million is not enough users to be seeing this. And a great secret so let's say I was just doing US, I took Canada off for a sec. You would notice, of course, that if you just have one country, your audience size is going to be more limited. And so if you're coming to an issue where you're really specific with your demographic and target audience, and it's great and all, but you don't have enough people because you're just maybe limiting yourself to one country, then add a few other countries that would complement your ad creative, and that's an easy way to broaden the amount of people and reach that it's going to, and thus get you more followers. All right, so throwing Canada back in, and let's get into age now. So like I said, 40, but for the sake of this, let's say 39, and then we'll go like 51. So we'll go 49. I say 39 also because maybe they're turning 40 soon. Just it's close enough to still be effective here. Switch it to women, and like I was saying earlier, look at that drop already. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the UK as well. All right, we got the UK in there to beef up the numbers a little bit more, and now we're gonna get into demographics. So we got to think here about women that are already interested in losing weight. They're probably already on some sort of diet pages, nutrition pages, fitness pages. That being said, we need to throw in some interest that people losing weight might have. You'd be surprised the different demographics, interests, and behaviors that are in here. It can get pretty specific, so I definitely like to play around with it. So if I put in an interest here, such as health and wellness, if you go over to suggestion, it'll automatically give you some closely related things. Perfect. Physical fitness, looking for that. Let's look for nutrition. Oh, you know what? That's actually a mistake by me, but I'm actually glad I did this for the sake of you guys' knowledge. So this is a field of study. So this is going to be people that are actually studying nutrition. So we don't want that. But watch, if I relook up nutrition, there will be a different one just for interest. All right, cool. So there's human nutrition, and then just for the sake of just showing you guys how robust this thing is, we can even do dieting, or I guess not diet, but healthy diet. Boom. So that's plenty. And this is a decent target audience. Honestly, the broader the better on something like a traffic campaign. I'd say if you're doing like an engagement campaign, just to quickly get a little sidetracked, engagement campaigns, you're going to want them a little more specific, but something like a traffic campaign, you can really afford to be broad because cost per clicks on traffic campaigns are pretty cheap, so you can really get away with being broad and getting great results from it. All right, so the last part within the ad set level, which is really important, and we're doing a profile visit, but annoyingly sometimes Meta will automatically also make the placement over to Facebook if you have this Advantage Plus placement set up. So you want to click Edit and click Manual Placements. And then see, just like I was saying, it was auto-checked. So because this is an Instagram profile visit, it really doesn't make sense to have Facebook users push over to your Instagram when we can spend 100% of our money only on Instagram users. So just uncheck that. And this is basically everywhere that it's going to display to. I recommend leaving these settings. You can add a few more on, but I personally, for me and my clients, only ever run them on Reels, Stories, and then the feeds and Explore. So yeah, make sure that Facebook's unchecked, and then you're great to go with your ad set level. So now let's get into the creative section. So you can either upload your own creative or a carousel, by doing this, add image. I've already got a bunch pre-saved just to give you guys an idea of what you can do. But another thing that's really neat is that you can also use existing posts, and as long as you've got royalty-free music on your videos, because Instagram scans for them, you can throw up one of your videos that's already on your Instagram. And the reason I say to do this over throwing up a reel manually through here is because you can monitor your videos a lot more, meaning you can see the view counts. And another great bonus is that, it's visible on your profile that you're getting these increased views. And so if someone's coming over to your page, maybe you paid a few $100, you got 13,000 views on a video, at least people can see that instead of it being a ghost offshore ad reel creative. But yeah, when it's tethered over to your Instagram, it can look great as long as it aligns with everything you've already got going. And another thing is, it's unfortunate, but this is the ads game, so you will get people shit talking or dropping mean comments. And when it's up on your post like that, it's a lot easier to regulate and make sure that things stay appropriate on the ad campaign itself. All right, so I'm just choosing one. So I'm actually running a profile visit over on another page. This will show you what the placement looks like. And I've also noticed, even though it looks like it's cut off here, when it actually starts running, it is a little more fit onto the screen, so you don't got to worry about that. But yeah, it's pretty neat. You're able to see all the placements of where it's going to go to, how it's going to look. In a lot of cases, if you're running a reel, sometimes the words can get cut off, so make sure that the very top and the very bottom of your reel doesn't have anything too significant and that all the information and key points are in the center. And right below that, you can add your copy. So since I'm running this from my Instagram page, I can't edit the copy, but if I moved it back to manually uploading something within Ads Manager here, then I could add my copy. And then there's also some cool AI generated copy if you don't like the way yours is really displayed. Everything else I don't recommend touching because there's no need to for a profile visit. And from here, as long as you can confirm that your budget is set up ad set level, you're good to publish this. From there, you just let it run at least $100. And the reason I say that is because you need to get an idea of the actual metrics that are going to be taking place. With the ads game, it's so important not to get emotional, because getting emotional and killing a campaign early can ruin a potentially great campaign that just didn't have enough time to show its true colors in the form of successful analytics. All right, I'm going to take you guys through a recent profile visit of mine just to show you what you should be looking for from a KPI standpoint, metric standpoint. Ignore this top one because that's the one we just created. I recently turned this off because I'm really hitting the throttle on my conversion campaign, and I've gotten plenty of followers recently from this profile visit. But yeah, as you can see, the main things you're going to want to be looking for are your CPM, your CPC, and your CTR. If you don't know, CPM is cost per 1,000 impressions. Pretty straightforward. You're going to want it to be anywhere from $10 to $20. It does also vary based on industry and niche as to how expensive this is going to be. And also, if it's a long video, it's going to be more pricey than if you had a short 6-second clip. And then cost per click, you're going to want to keep it anything under 40 cents is a winner in my eyes. It's very affordable. As you can see, 27 cents here. That doesn't mean it takes 27 cents to get one view, but 27 cents to get one person over to my profile, which is really affordable. And if you really think about it from that way, from like a statistical standpoint, I just need to spend a couple dollars to get a new follower through the door. And then this click-through rate is how many people are clicking through your links. So seeing something in double digits, for instance, is insane. That means 11% of people that are seeing this ad are actually clicking over to go visit my profile. So I know this one's a winner that I want to keep running again in the future. So if you guys came over from my Instagram, I promised how to identify a successful winning ad creative, and this is the basic breakdown. So what you're going to do is go to facebook.com/ad/library. I'll link it down in the description below. And basically what we can do here is see any and all competitors that are currently running ads. And the reason this is so good is to generate insights, to get an understanding of what's winning and what the audience is already liking, so you can make something similar to that with your own twist. In my opinion, this is a great way to save money if you're on a budget starting out, just because you don't want to risk trying something that may not have been done before and is a crash and burn. At least this way you have some direct social proof behind the campaign that you're trying to go for. All right, so just for a quick example, staying within that same niche, let's say I was someone that was trying to do a women in fitness thing, even doing a simple hot search like that, I can see some basic still frame ad creatives that this A1 Health and Fitness is running, right? Or another quick search, fitness online, and we can see an online fitness academy. Or another great thing, if you know someone by name and you know that they're running ads, this is really the secret sauce here. This is just a filtered hot search if you don't really know what you're looking for. If you know someone's name and you know they're running ads, we can easily hack them here. So I just did some quick research, found a random fitness coach, and as you can see, she's running several different ad creatives. In fact, it looks like she launched a lot of these today, so she'll probably be testing these herself. But yeah, this is honestly a great example also. From a marketing perspective, you never test just one creative. You got to test a fuck ton like this. Find your winners, and then from there, have those winners fight against each other again. So this is just a great way if you're a beginner to get some idea of where to start. If you don't have an idea or vision at how to create a winning ad creative, this is a great place to lean on. All right, and that's all for me. I hope you guys are able to successfully implement a profile visit into your own page and hopefully get some more followers through the door. If you have any questions about the inputs or maybe some more specifics on how you would like to run your own Instagram campaign, I'm linking my Instagram down below. Just DM me, reach out to me with any questions. I'll do my best to answer them, and I'll see you on the other side.